Thank you for logging in to the Monday routine weekly briefing, and we're going to be covering the period April 4th today through April 10th, which is Sunday. And we actually have a fairly active pattern this week, similar to what we kind of saw last week with some severe storms. But starting out today, we did have a frost advisory out this morning, and we had temperatures ranging from low 30s to lower 40s up across the advisory area. We saw the kind of warmer temperatures in the urban areas, which is pretty typical, but it was certainly cool this morning and people needed their jackets. Well, that area of high pressure is going to, if you look here in this top left here, is going to shift offshore later today and tonight. And as that shifts offshore, we're going to see the southerly winds around this high pressure bring in a warmer air mass and also increasing moisture clouds as well. With rain chances starting to spread into the area tomorrow afternoon out across the western portions of the forecast area. And as the rain moves north, we're also expecting to see potential for some thunderstorms in the evening, and I'll go a little bit more in detail on a later graphic. So basically, we're expecting a pretty wet Tuesday evening, and the bulk of that rain should be starting to push east and out of here, I'd say around midnight Tuesday night. We're going to be dry on Wednesday as we are in between systems. And then we're going to have this next cold front. You see it here in the lower left. Cold front will approach from the west on late Wednesday night and basically move through on Thursday. Now, the timing of that front, what it's going to end up doing, is going to bring our best chance for showers and thunderstorms into the western part of the state Wednesday night. And then as that front continues to move east, during the day on Thursday, it's going to set up the eastern portions of our state for thunderstorms Thursday afternoon. So that's, as I show you some of our Storm Prediction Center severe weather probabilities and outlooks, you're going to see that. Once that cold front goes through on Thursday, we're looking at cooler temperatures to close the work week and into the weekend. And expecting to see some overnight lows dip back down into the mid 30s over the weekend. So there could also be some very patchy light frost possible as we get into the weekend. All right, as you can see here, you see there's a lot of color on these graphics over the next 3 days, 4 days actually, and centered over our region starting Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday. So let's first focus on Tuesday. Right now we're looking at a level 1 marginal threat for severe storms. That is mainly across southern portions of our CWA. And right now the best timing looks to be 7 p.m. to about midnight. What it's going to be very contingent on is models have been showing this weak area of low pressure somewhere in the vicinity of the Carolinas. The different strength and magnitude, different locations, so there's some uncertainty there. If that low is tracking through the region, there will be a warm front along that where the low is expected to form along. That would actually increase our chance to see some severe weather. At this time, we could see damaging winds, hail, and an isolated tornado, all possible Tuesday evening. Now, the one thing working against it is the timing of the day. We're expecting very weak instability. However, you don't need a lot of instability when you have what we call a frontal boundary over the area, especially a surface low, because with that low, you get what we call very enhanced low-level shear. So we'll continue to look at that. Again, that main time frame is going to be Tuesday evening between 7 p.m. and midnight. And again, I really trying to get really focused. It'd probably be across our southeastern counties. So I'd probably say somewhere from Richmond County, Scotland County, and on through Cumberland and Sampson County. That's probably the main areas we have to look out for. Again, Wednesday, the daylight hour is going to be dry, but then that front starts to move in from the west. And so we're expecting the showers and storms Wednesday night and into the day on Thursday. So we'll focus on these two graphics here. And you can see on Wednesday, again, this is going to be mainly after midnight. So you're really talking about in the overnight hours. The best chance will be across the western part of the state. And then on Thursday, we're looking at the best chance basically along and east of US 1 Thursday afternoon. Now, what we're seeing here and what really has us excited is we're seeing some of the highest instability we've seen so far this season. Up to this point, most of our chances, our storms we've had, it's been what we call very low instability, low CAPE. What this models are showing right now, actually some pretty moderate instability. So that's pretty strong this time of year. And given the forcing and the strength of the cold front, we're expecting, this to be could be a pretty organized severe weather producer for this part of the country. Really getting into the weeds, what a lot of the models are showing and what a lot of parameters suggest is that we could see what we call a quasi-linear line of storms that will be moving through the region. And with that threat, usually the main threat is going to be damaging winds, and then you could have some very isolated tornadoes along that line. So that's what we're looking at. And again, western part of the state Wednesday night, and then Thursday afternoon will be across the eastern part of the state. When we look at the rainfall threat, heavy rainfall threat, flooding threat, right now it appears pretty low. And I'll show you why as we look at more of the day 1 to day 5 expected rainfall amount. So you can see with the Tuesday system right here in the middle on the top row there, we're looking at rainfall amounts generally highest across the Piedmont region with as much as a half inch to an inch possible. And then with that second system that goes through Wednesday night, Thursday, it takes us to here. It's showing the eastern parts of the area getting the heavier rainfall. So when you look at combined rainfall totals over 5 days, and that's going to be the lower right graphic, we're looking at a good potential to see 3/4 to an inch and a half across our CWA. Again, we're talking about thunderstorms, and how random and how you can get these heavier what we call bullseyes of rainfall. So you certainly could see some higher amounts. And it's important because when we look at, I'll go back to that graphic, but when we look at the drought and where we stand, the rain we saw last week from those severe storms and stuff, that's going to have to be factored in. But you can see that it's the case in this graphic of the haves and the have-nots. Well, in the eastern half of the state, it's been the have-nots, and they just have not seen the rainfall that we've seen over the central and western Piedmont. So they actually saw an expansion of the drought last week across eastern North Carolina. So it's going to be important that hopefully we'll get a pretty good distribution of rain across our CWA from those 2/3 events that we see coming up this week. Stepping back now, looking ahead for the 8 to 14, it's what we're seeing here is, hey, as we get into the middle part of April, we're looking at a high chance for above normal temperatures and below normal rainfall chances during that time. So we'll see how that pans out. All right, for a quick summary, we're looking at dry conditions through, I'd say, at least through lunchtime tomorrow. And then after lunchtime, we'll start seeing rain chances increase. There's a level 1 marginal severe threat for Tuesday afternoon and evening. Again, the time frame is 7 p.m. to around midnight, especially across that southern, southeastern tier counties. We'll be dry on Wednesday. And one thing I forgot to say is that you can see it down here in this graphic. that after today, we're back up into very seasonable to slightly above normal. So we're back into the into the 70s and into the 80s. And this graphic here you see is for Raleigh area. So if you live, if you're in a coastal plain of Sandhills on Wednesday, we're expecting to see some mid 80s on that day between the two rains. So it's going to return to very warm conditions during the active severe period in the midweek, and that's going to result in the warmer temperatures, and the return of the moisture will increase that severe threat, and so we'll be in another level 1, level 2 threat for Wednesday night and especially Thursday afternoon. Both systems, we're looking at potential for damaging winds and tornadoes, and we could even see some hail on that system on Tuesday evening. Cold front goes through, and behind that we'll see cooler temperatures for the weekend. And when you look at the temperatures for Saturday, I think for the most part, a good part of the area is in the 50s, mid to upper 50s. So really below normal for the weekend. And we'll also see the potential for some frost with lows getting down into the mid to upper 30s over the weekend.